Hey, welcome black, welcome black. LiveThatSINY, your host, Dreads. We back with another banger here. Today in the house we have the poet Infinity. Did I say it right?
Yeah, man.
All right. I got it
Perfectly
right. I
said.
got it right. Welcome black, welcome black. Uh, I'm just glad to have you here because we haven't had a chance to really sit down and really do a show focused on you. So now
Well,
this
today
is
is the day.
yes, this is your spotlight. This is your platform.
Okay.
Where you want to start at? You want to give them a little introduction?
Sure. So live that SINY. How are you? I am yours truly, the dub, poetical, vertical, musical mind stimulator. My mission is to take you on a journey into sound. Yeah, man. Into
All right,
sound.
all right,
Into sound.
right. And you have a very powerful voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, was did they tell you that when you was young? Was your voice as strong when you was a young man? Or
It's a gradual development.
right,
Listening to Brooke Benton and those way back guys, Lou Rawls, Barry White,
right,
Isaac Hayes.
right, right,
Uh, Excuse me, you have changed for a quarter? I want to make a phone call. You know Lou Rawls?
right. Yeah, I know
And
Lou
then I
Rawls.
listen to Louis Armstrong.
I know Louis Armstrong
What
also.
a wonderful world, you know?
Right,
So
right,
I've tapped into that source, which we all tap into, to actualize to this level.
right. And it's kind of unique from them. You have a
Well,
unique sound, cause
well, when you take it from your solar plexus, that's when you feel the real spirit, a
yes,
spiritual essence of what you say. Because word sounds have power, and
right,
you have to make it powerful.
right,
Yes.
right. And Dove Poet Infinity. You do music also.
Yeah,
You a
man.
poet. You do
We have an
music.
album online, 911 Blues.
All right.
You can
I
find
think
it
you.
on all social media formats, 911 Blues. What's up with the news? Who have got the clues to the 911 Blues? You see, I went to Louisiana looking for Louise and Anna. I could not find them. So I went to Alabama looking for Allah, Ba, and Ma. I could not find them. Then I went to Mississippi looking for Mississippi and Mississippi. I could not find them. So it says 9/11 Blues. What's up with the news? Who have got the clues to the 9/11 Blues?
Right. And if they want the extended version, they could do their research and go
Right.
back a couple of episodes because you did bless them with that here before
Sure.
live. You know what
We
I'm
did.
saying? But what you got for us today? Because we got a big show planned for today.
Well, so many things going on in this world right now.
Yeah.
You see so many different things happening, and we must come to the realization to know that nothing is new, and the whole world is run on misconceptions. They tell me what I see is not what I saw. They tell me what I heard is not what I hear. So where do we go from here? Tell me, where do we go from here?
Right. Right. And people have to be a little bit more aware of what's happening in the atmosphere also.
Very much so, because Hollywood, the magic wand, with magic strands that becomes magic whisks, that become magic twists, as magic scripts get flipped, become ghost spells in my head. As the magic wand becomes a magic bond, bonding I and I into bondage. As I remember the ancient indigenous tablets, I remember modern man's scribes, scripts, scenes, sceneries, staged, stages, actors, But they say, what I see is not what I saw. Where do we go from here? Mass confusion is what runs things in this world. They create this phenomenon to keep us down and have us confused. Hollywood. As Hollywood becomes Holywood, as the scripts get flipped, something is crazy in this time. What I see, you tell me that's not what I saw. What's going on? You tell me fiction and science fiction when I know there's no such thing as fiction because everything is real. What's going on? Can you tell me, sir? Can you tell me?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Oh, exactly what you said. You know what I'm saying? Everything is real. And
Yes.
just to reiterate, we have to really be aware of what's going on in our atmosphere more,
Yes.
you know.
Okay, you see, what we have to do, we have to dwell in the ancestors' ancient past to reminiscence ourselves to know what's right and what's wrong. Like yesterday was the Earth Day of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, and he was a person of international morality. And he said, "What life has taught me, until the philosophy that holds one race superior and another inferior is finally abolished, abandoned, and utterly destroyed, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes, until they are no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation, until that day, the dream of lasting peace, world citizenship, and the rule of international morality will remain a fleeting illusion to be pursued but never attained."
All right.
He said, "We today, you tomorrow. There is no such thing as a superpower." His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie, the father of international morality.
And royal bloodline also.
Please.
Royal bloodline from royalty.
Okay. Anciency.
Right. Ancient royal bloodline also.
Right.
You know. And it was his birthday. So how old would he have been? Because I think when I was born, he still was alive.
Okay. I couldn't tell you this minute.
What year he was born? I'm good with math.
It's in my
Right.
notes somewhere.
Right.
But, he stood up because when the European Union invaded, the European Union allowed Mussolini to go into Ethiopia,
Yes.
and His Majesty had to flee to England. And the only way he went back was because the Japanese and Mussolini, they were all united with Hitler. And that's why they went back in to help run Mussolini out of Ethiopia.
Right.
If not, then the whole world will still be in a state of uproar as they keep it. Because Africa is the breadbasket of the world. Like France has the third largest gold reserve, and France has no gold.
Right.
Everything is stolen from the motherland.
Right.
That's what they do.
And it's strange because everything was connected at one time.
It's all one, because
Right.
until modern man became knowledgeable, that's when the whole confusion started. They decided that it's philosophy of I came, I saw, I conquer for the international banksters. So when the major ice age ended, 4,480 BC, my brothers from the north kept coming south pillaging. And their objective was to rape the women, kidnap the children, steal the food and natural resources, and kill the firstborn. Who are the firstborn? The elders, the teachers, the astrologers.
Right.
So that's how they have dominated from that time till now. Since 4,480 BC, when Earth went into a paradigm shift and ice started to melt. So they could no longer stay in the caves, they came south.
Right.
And it has never changed. In the year 2000, we went into the Aquarian era began. And so they say global warming, but it's actually the ending of the minor ice age. And that's why the tide is rising. So they distract from the ice age so you don't know the history and give you the word global warming so you don't know the phenomenon or where it started and what they are doing.
Right.
And that's all they control by deception.
That too, and distraction
Yes.
also. This is a major distraction right here, you know.
That's why they do it, because we are in the age of information. But
Right.
many are aging without the information.
Right.
Because now they took away the books. The books had intro, forward, bibliography, footnotes.
Right.
So just those alone you could learn from the book. You go online, all you get is what they tell you.
And
No research, no alternative sources to find, to compare and contrast. It's all a game. It's all a game.
right, and a lot of times it's alternative facts
Yes,
that's there.
And
You know
that's
what I'm
why
saying?
I said 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ground zero. Welcome to the 21st century, where mind control is the order of the day. We interrupt this SINY broadcast to bring you a special news bulletin. As the major mass media attacks liminally and subliminally with weapons of mass deception, mind control becomes a global epidemic. The colonization of mindsets has caused many sane to become insane due to the psychological intervention of misconception, mesmerization, miseducation, religion, and politics. Resistance is the key. As weapons of mass deception become weapons of mass distraction, become weapons of mass destruction as intended for mass confusion. As we are in a state right now, mass confusion. They
Right.
tell me what I see, I did not see. They tell me what I hear, I did not hear. Chaos, order of chaos, order de chaos. That's what they call it.
Right, and I noticed you said resistance is
Resistance is the key.
right.
If you do not resist, you see, you must resist to heal, to live, to rise.
Right.
Without resistance, what are you?
But they have the people programmed to resistance is futile.
Well, no matter what they do, we never stop.
Right.
We have the power to rise beyond. We have the power to go beyond the skies. We have the power to go beyond the stars. But some of us are sleeping in the doldrums of confusion. Mass confusion. But them times soon done. Them having
Right.
too much fun killing with them guns. What are their guns? The newspaper,
Media.
the media, and the guns.
Right.
Mass confusion. Mass confusion.
So in your time, have you seen a time like this before?
Yes, nothing is new.
Right.
9/11,
Right.
Pearl Harbor.
Right.
You can name all of them.
Right. We can go.
It's all,
Right.
you can go back to 1897. There was this guy called Herzl. He said, let's make a homeland for the Jewish people in Europe. And Herzl has nothing to do with Judaism. Herzl is a Zionist.
Right.
So it's the Zionist foundation that programmed the whole concept of what happened. Eventually, when you have the 1947, the Balfour Accord, where they said, okay, we're going to take the Hasidic Jews from Europe and put them in Palestine. And historically, at that time, the population in Palestine was 92% Palestinians and 8% Sephardic. And the Sephardic and the Palestinians were related. But the Hasidic that came from Europe had no DNA connection, right? But the UN and the big guys orchestrated this move. They were welcomed by the Palestinian, but gradually they kept grabbing, taking the land around.
Right.
So the big land grab was 1967, when Golda Meir was prime minister in Israel. And then you had the Camp David Accord with President Jimmy Carter, Anwar Sadat of Egypt, Ishaq Rabin of Israel, and Yasser Arafat of the PLO, right? And that was a historic event which, had it kept going, would have had peace in Palestine. But there is no peace because the Zionists control the people.
Right.
The people in Judaism are innocent people practicing a religion that they were taught or what they adopted. But, however, the military is not the same because the Geneva Accord states that Resolution 242, I've known that since 1970, and I'm now 69. A people under occupation by occupying invader has the right to bear arms against such an invader. So why so much hypocrisy? The bottom line is, go back to the Camp David Accord, and they could have peace in Palestine. But until they do that, then it's always going to be upside down. So what Jimmy Carter did was one of the best things ever. Jimmy Carter, Anwar Sadat, Ishaq Rabin, and Yasser Arafat. Those four men. And incidentally, 3 of those men were assassinated. Ishaq Rabin was assassinated. Yasser Arafat was assassinated. Anwar Sadat was assassinated.
And they tried with Jimmy Carter
Yes,
also.
so
they did try.
They always try, always, the powers that be somewhere that's corrupt, always would cause wars and confusion. Wars and rumors of wars is the order of the day. Where will our children play? Where will our children play? Tell me, tell me, tell me. It's mass confusion. International morality, where is your sting? Where is your sting? Don't tell me about death, where is your sting? I'm talking about live people, intelligence. Where's intelligence? When war devastates, war annihilates, war depopulates, love multiplies. What's wrong with this world? International morality. It's time for world leaders to stop the hypocrisy and be for real. It's that time.
Right. I know a lot of people would agree with me that United States has a lot of stuff going on here in its own, you know what I'm saying, to make that a major part of our life here, you know. It's crazy.
You see, the bottom line is ruling. When you divide and conquer a people, you control. Because their philosophy is to, that's why when I say debt to colonialism and the tentacles of colonialism, especially the word apartheid, what it does, it divides, controls, steal your natural resources, and finally wipe you off the planet. Annihilation.
Right.
That's the plan. That's the plan in Palestine, to annihilate the Palestinians. That's what Netanyahu is doing. Right. It's not about truths and rights. The Palestinian people and the Ashkenazi people could have been living in peace and harmony, but they don't want that. The government job is to steal and take away everything, and they're using the religious people as pawns.
Right.
And it's sad, but that's the reality of it.
And this stuff is inside the Bible. This stuff goes back many, many, many years, even before where you just started, because they're talking about this stuff in the Bible.
Well,
they've been fighting over the same land.
Nothing is new. Nothing is
right.
new. And I came, I saw, I conquer. That's some philosophy to control the world by controlling the natural resources. And that's why Marcus Garvey says, you're in Africa, the islands of the seas and the continents of the world. You're millions upon millions strong. I appeal to you. Stop being underdogs and footstools of others. Stop whining and complaining and talking about bad luck and misfortune. Get up, stand up, shake yourself up, because you ought to be what you want to be. And that's why They're there to stop you. Because the whole world is run and bluff. And no man, no race, no nation has any divine right to take advantage of others. So why allow those fellows to bluff you, bluff you, bluff you? We must reconciliate for a better world. Resolution, solution, reconciliation is the only way forward.
Right.
But we must teach the children the truth and not the ways of the brute. Because a people, a nation without knowledge of its true history is like a tree without roots. A tree without roots cannot bear any fruits. So stop your false history, his story, and unveil the mystery, her story, my story. You want to hear my story? You want to hear my story? You see, life is what you make it. And nothing can stop you if your utmost desire is to make the world a better world so people can live in love and harmony. And that's what they're not doing.
Right.
They're dividing the people, the control, confusion.
They're doing a great job dividing the people, actually,
Right.
because it's the most major distraction ever to what's really going on.
Well,
You know.
the idea is to, that's why I say, stop violating our human rights because we have seen the light. Stop violating our human rights because we will never give up the fight. Stop violating our human rights.
Right.
Don't tell me about civil rights. Civil is a natural phenomenon. Human rights. The Constitution still says I'm 3/5 man. Who will change that? Has anyone has the guts to change that? I hope so. It's long enough. Because Emancipation Proclamation is all stories. It's a game. It's a compromise.
Right.
And it was designed to keep us in check. And they still control. Like what the British did to Jamaica. What they did to Jamaica, the Maroons of Jamaica, which you could call Moors, Maroons, the same people,
Right.
defeated the British many times. And finally, the British made a trick treaty. And Queen Nanny walked 150 miles through the north coast of Jamaica to tell Cudjoe not to sign the trick treaty. And he did. Weeks later, all these guys were abducted and kidnapped and exiled to Halifax, Nova Scotia to die.
Mm.
But then they survived. They invented ice hockey in Halifax, Nova Scotia, these Jamaicans. Just like the Industrial Revolution, some slaves from Gambia came with the technology to Jamaica, and they developed it under the slave master. They took everything, then they take everything to England and destroy the plant in Jamaica. So technically, the Industrial Revolution started in Jamaica. And that's what these colonials have done and keep doing until we stand up and demand reparation.
Right.
Until we demand reparation and stand up, we will forever be sheeples, being stepped on forever. And it's time to make changes.
Right. I much agree. I want to talk more about the tree with no roots because it's similar to like when you go to the supermarket now, they're selling fruits with no seeds in it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And what people need to understand, if the fruit has no seeds in it, it's not real.
Now it's all, everything now call it genetic engineering.
Right, modified.
Yeah, so it's all about man gone crazy. Say, Dr. Funk Instinct, Dr. Funk Instinct. Now funk and stain, I brain, I can no longer bear the pain. Man mad, man gone crazy. Seed in the clouds, make them proud. Man gone crazy, man gone crazy. Putting pig genes in tomato, man gone crazy. Man gone bumbleclot crazy. What am I deal with? It's time for change. It's time for change. It's time for change.
And I think it's time for us to give them some sounds right now.
Sure. Music, man.
Charlie, right, Charlie, whenever you're ready.
violating our human rights. Stop violating our human rights because we have seen the light. We are feeling the light. It's time to strike. It's time to fight for human rights. Forward ever, backward never, onward forever. It's time to fight. It's time to strike for human rights. Life must go on after the storm. After the storm, there must be a calm. We cannot give up. We must forward up. So we say forward ever, backward never, onward forever. So stop violating our human rights. Stop violating our human rights because we have seen the light. We are feeling the light. It's time to strike. It's time to fight for human rights. Forward ever, backward never. Stop violating our human rights. Stop violating our human rights because we have seen the light. We are feeling the light. It's time to fight. It's time to strike for human rights. Forward ever, backward never, onward forever, fighting for human rights. Stop violating our human rights, because we have seen the light. We are feeling the light. Time to fight, time to strike for human rights. Telling us about civil rights. Give me human rights, because under the skin it's the same thing. You have this skin, you have this skin, you have this skin, and you have this skin, but under it is the same thing. So what you're dealing with. And that's what apartheid has done. The color coding. Remember, complexion is not color. Complexion is shades from darkness to light. So color coding was instituted to cause confusion, to divide the people when the people are one. Because from one original people came all people. Anthropologically speaking, for those who know. And for those who don't know, it's time to read. A book like Celestial Ship of the North by Valencia E. Strayton, Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams, and Civilization or Barbarianism by Cheikh Anta Diop, the Senegalese anthropologist that did the carbon content to break down the indigenous ancestors to know that modern man has lied. Stop violating our human rights because we are feeling it. It's time to fight for human rights.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Right. You just broke it down for them right there.
Like it is,
Right.
Because, we live in a time of mass confusion.
Right.
And that's why Marcus Garvey said, the power that holds us down is not divine. The power that holds us down is human. He said, it has been recognized that whatever man has done, man can do. The whole world is running bluff. So therefore, no man, no nation has any divine right to take advantage of others. So why allow those fellows to bluff you? Fellas, it's time to end all wars. Say, no more wars, no more wars. What are we fighting for? No more wars, no more wars. We're stars that came from afar. No more wars, no more wars. What are we fighting for? No more wars, no more wars. We're stars that came from afar. We're stars that came from afar. We're stars that came from afar. No more wars, no more wars, no more wars.
Right.
Because we must teach the children the truth. We must teach the children the truth and not the ways of the brute. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Love is the answer.
I've heard that, and I believe it's absolutely true. Also, forgiveness. People have to learn how to forgive.
Reconciliation.
Right.
That's it, going forward. You cannot blame a person now for what happened 10,000 years ago, but we must sit down, reconcile, and go forward. That's the only way
Yes.
to make this world a better world.
Even like health-wise,
Right.
carrying that stuff around will have you very sick, or have you.
Yeah. Well,
you know.
see, all of this is done for control. For control. It's all designed. And it's a Eurocentric thing. And it's a patriarchal thing. Because before, when the world was matriarchal, it was balanced.
Right.
And everyone had a role. In a patriarchal society, man steps ahead of the woman. When in ancient time, it was a balance. Because in ancient philosophy, going back to the stellar time, the concept was called Mother Typhon and the 7 sons. Because the concept was always goddess until 4480 BC. So we went from a stellar time to the lunar time to the solar time. So when we went into the solar time, right around when Ice Age ended, the whole world got twisted up. And the world had never came back to where it was before that.
Right.
And that's the problem of the world. You know, we must seek knowledge and know the truths. Because rule in most countries is by deception. And that's the reality of it. Terror lies. Terror, terror, terror lies. Terror, terror, terror lies. Terror lies, terror lies. Get into your head and make you believe. When the word believe means lying. The word believe alone is not right. You must know.
Right.
Because knowledge is knowing the ledge. So I said, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. But I'm always going to lose my head because I don't know. I'm believing. So when you believe, your head is gone. We call that colonialism. And when I say death to colonialism and its tentacles of apartheid, I'm talking about the psychological aspect of it.
Right.
Because they said slavery ended in the physical form, but they switched it to
Mental.
to the metaphysical form. Because Rome invaded Palestine 168 BC. And by 166 AD, the nobilities in Rome started to die. And then they came to the conclusion, you know something, they said, we must no longer use military might to control the people. We must use psychological intervention. We must use religion to control. So by 323 AD, Constantine gathered 1,800 bishops to put together the Immaculate Conception story at the Conference of Nicaea. At this conference, 1,500 of the bishops did not go along with Constantine's program, and they were beheaded. The 300 who went along with the program survived. So wherever Christopher Columbus went, he put 30 nooses and 300 crosses to represent the 300 that helped formulate the Nicene Conference. And what this conference did, it took ancient ways of life and created a religion out of it. Because the man they call Jesus is actually Yahshua Pendura, an Ethiopian shepherd king where the story came from. And the word Messiah means liberator, freedom fighter. So, so they change the meanings of everything. Because the story says, I did not come with I did not come I did not come to sacrifice. I come with a sword of freedom. So that's the whole philosophy of control, of twisting our minds and giving us new stories to control.
Right.
And that's how they do it. They use religion. So they created all of these stories because there was no Noah. There was Akanoah from the Akkadian time, the flood times. So they just say Ark of Noah, and they construct the story because the word, because the sun, there are 12 zodiacal houses, and the sun, and each zodiacal house stays in the sun in that sun belt for 2,160 years. So they multiply that time 12, they get 29,000 plus years. The complete cycle of the entire time. So all the zodiacal houses fall within that category. Because 4,480 BC, when the earth went into a paradigm shift, right, we were in the house of Taurus, right? And from Taurus, we went into Aries, then we went into Pisces, and Pisces ended at the year 2000, and Aquarius began at 2001. So you see, all this information I'm giving you can find it in the book by Anta Chiki Diop, Civilization or Barbarianism. We need to read. We need to read Dr. Barry Shango, Dr. Van Sertima, Dr. Clark, Gerald Massey, Churchward, all these great Amos Wilson, Dr. Ben. All the professors there have been giving us the facts, and we still don't read. And most of these professors died without tenure because they spoke the truth. All these professors, Dr. Ben died poor, Dr. Clark, all of these guys died poor because of the history that they brought out. And we as a people need to go forward into those ancient books and read to liberate ourselves. Like Dr. King says, real emancipation is a spiritual emancipation. And what is that? You must reflect and revisit our ancient, glorious indigenous past to know what's right and what's wrong. Until we do that, we'll forever remain sheeples because we believe in a shit system full of terror lies.
Right.
Controls.
And how damaging is buying up all the farms and that type of stuff? How damaging is that to society? Controlling the food that we intake.
Well, the bottom line, the modern guys who control say that the earth is overpopulated. So they're finding all kind of ways to depopulate. And yet, 80% of the world land is unoccupied.
Right.
So this whole thing is a game.
So it's impossible to beat.
Yeah. But the bottom line is, if you cannot do what they do or say what they say, then you're in trouble. And talking about that, I'm looking at Project 2025. That's a serious agenda.
Right.
And anyone who believes in that agenda, you know, different than Hitler. You know, different than Mussolini. Project 2025, neo-slavery. What's wrong with these men? Man gone crazy.
Yeah.
Man gone crazy. Man gone crazy. Yes, man gone crazy. Bomber clock crazy. Yeah.
Right. They need to really check that out. I heard it's 900 pages, and I heard it's 4 pillars that you really have to. Right.
It's people. It's time to read. It's time to seek knowledge. They say, ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. And knock and the doors of understanding and understanding will open. But if you don't go through those steps, you remain a bomber-clad sheep.
Right. And education, modern education, plays a part in it. Not college, because people know you can go to college and get the knowledge. Right. It's the upbringing, education that they instill in you. Because even when I was growing up, if you didn't say Christopher Columbus discovered America, you failed.
Yeah, well, see, the whole concept is been tricks. The whole colonialism never ended. It's all a game they play on the words. They tell you hickory dickory dock, the mouse run up the clock. The clock struck one and down the mouse run. You ever see a mouse run up the clock?
Uh,
So they start to warp your mindset from you're 2 years old to believe. You know, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his cloud, and Jill came tumbling after. Who threw Jack and Jill off the hill? Did you ever question it? No, we didn't question none of this. All of this was to put our mindset into a belief system.
right, like the cow
Yeah.
jumped over the moon.
Yes, and the cow jump over the moon. It's all about control. So when you believe, you're a sheeple, and that's the reality of it. Yes.
Right. So you got any more music for them? Could we go another round here?
Yeah, could put on the same track again, and I can.
Play the same track. Yep, play that same track again.
People, stop being a sheeple. It's time to edify and stop eating French fry. Why you wanna die? Living lie. Know the truths and set your mind free. He said, set the captives free. Our mindset has been captivated. And being captivated, we remain devastated and eventually annihilated. So we must rise to our true sense of liberty by seeking knowledge. Because in our ancestral knowledge is where the roots is. What we have got now is leaves. We're getting fruits without seeds. A tree without roots cannot bear fruits. But now they're growing fruits without seeds. Just like knowledge is knowing the ledge. If you do not know the ledge, you're a sleeping dead. Did you hear what I said? If you do not know the ledge, you're a sleeping dead. Knowledge is the key to set you free. So emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Bob Marley said, none but yourself can free your mind. Have no fear for atomic energy. It can stop you sometime, but it can never stop you all the time. We must rise. We must rise. 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 Yeah. Forward ever. Backward never. You see, them a wreck creation. Them a wreck creation. In the name of recreation. What am I do? Them a recreation. In the name of recreation. Dropping bombs from the sky. Killing, destroying the soil, polluting the seas. You have to be careful of the fish you eat now. Everything now is. And guess what? I'm cloning meat in lab now. The meat is banned from the supermarket now. Have been made in labs across America, certified by the FDA. Unfortunately, in Europe they don't do that. But here, they're killing us softly. Killing us softly in their packages. Remember, the big prints are tricky. The fine prints is where they tell you some of what they're doing. You're supposed to read everything to know everything. But if you don't read and listen to the news feed, you're not going to grow no seed. You won't be freed. That's the deed that they have created. We must rise beyond all of these idiosyncrasies that they have created. Know that we have the power within to rise, to rise, to rise, to rise. Stop violating our human rights. Stop violating our human rights because we have seen the light. Because we are feeling the light. It's time to strike. It's time to fight for human rights. Forward, forward, forward ever. Backward never.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, man.
Yes. Bless, bless, bless. So, that was very powerful. I thank you for that right there. My viewers, y'all go do your research. Check out the new app. If you need to rewind and go back a couple of times, go to my YouTube page, go back a couple of times, you know what I'm saying, and do your research on a lot of this stuff, everything that we're talking about here today.
That's what we need to do, people. We need
Right.
to research, research, read, 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 read. The word news. You know what I mean? The word news? North, east, west, south. That's where the word news come from. So they propagate seeds of corruption in all four corners of the earth. Now, it's important to know that to decipher. When you're able to decipher, you can find what you're looking for. You will be able to separate facts from fiction. And what they've been doing is all giving us fiction all our lives.
Right.
All our lives. And that's how they control us. That's how they control us.
And play on intelligence,
Yes.
you know.
Yes, because we are sleeping. We are living dead. Living dead, living dead, living dead. Did you hear what I said? We are living dead.
And Walking Dead.
Walking dead because of the news that was fed into our head.
Right. Truth, brother, truth, you know. Can you just give us a little history on your instrument here that you've been using?
Well, the djembe drum, just like all drums, had its traditional roots with the indigenous people all around the globe. And it's
So our ancestors,
yes,
ancestors,
yes.
ancestors, ancestors.
Before the word was the sound. And the sound. Every sound is a decibel of music.
Right.
No matter where it be a needle dropping, it's all music. So before the word was the sound. And the drum was used as an instrument of relaying messages from across miles or invoke certain, you know?
Communication.
Right. Every time I hear the sound, my brother Mutabaruka said that the sound of the drum.
vibration is needed, healing wise.
And the drum sound.
Yes.
Yes. That's it. Yes.
So is it natural, like when you hear the drums, it just makes you want to dance and move? Is that
Cause the drum tune into your higher heights, you know?
right?
Cause nothing is new. Everything is in our Akashic, in our RNA, our memories, everything. So everything is everything. Everything is connected.
Right.
So you just have to tap into it and feel it and know it.
Right.
Yes.
But you also, we brought you here, you dropped the knowledge, the wisdom on them, but you're also a very successful businessman. How important is it to own your own business? And
Business. When I was a little boy in Jamaica, I watched my father and mother take a little Volkswagen minibus and transform it into 5 major buses.
wow.
I watched my father and mother design their own bus routes and had it going until my mother went to another planet. Then it didn't, my father, bottom line is my mother was the backbone behind the business.
Right.
And
Matriarch.
so, yeah, so bottom line is I grew up in a business, and then at a certain age when I read Marcus Garvey's Philosophies and Opinions, I realized that's the only way for us is economic empowerment, doing for self. Self-reliance, resourcefulness, and responsibility, everything is from within to do.
Right.
So I came to America 50 years ago.
Wow.
50 years ago, I came to America, 23rd of July, 1974. Right? I was in the U.S. Air Force for 6 years.
So you came here and then you served the country.
Went in the Air Force for 6 years. I got out of the Air Force, and I went into business since 1980. So from 1980 till now is what, 44 years?
Yes.
I've been doing my own business.
Yes.
Because everything is everything. You have the power in us. You have the power in us to do, to excel. You know, I could have gone work jobs here and there and there, but my spirit would not let me do that. We must do for self. We must empower. We must teach the children. You know, economic empowerment is the way for a town, to a village, to a nation.
Right.
We have to grow. Yes.
Right.
So I've been in business, but.
And your
44
business,
years.
right? Your business is stands out. A lot of people have passed the business, shopped at your business, but they wouldn't put your face to the business to know that was your business.
So basically, I design T-shirts. I'm a conceptual artist, you know.
Right.
And I create, you know, like different designs, like listening to Marcus Garvey. I created one called One Caribbean with all the flags.
Right.
One Africa, one South America, you know, and I have other concepts, you know.
And very unique, because you caught my eye, and I was trying to, every time I passed by, I couldn't get you, and I'm like, I want the sweater, I want the sweater.
Because I wrote one like, a cultural revolution is a solution to end the mass confusion. So we must forward the curriculum of inclusion, rewrite the constitution, and change all institutions. We must teach the children the truth and not the ways of the brute, because a people, a nation, without the knowledge of its true history, is like a tree without roots, which bear no fruits. So all of this is from Garvey instilling into me. So I designed that one. I designed also a T-shirt called Afrocentricity, away from Garvey inspiration. Afrocentricity is the master key in this society for the liberation of the African nations, the original creations. Afrocentricity is liberty, so let's unite and stride in our community. Eurocentricity is not for we, so let's eradicate and liberate with an Afrocentric mentality. Afrocentricity is for we. Afrocentricity is for we. Afrocentricity is identity. We have lost it. We have lost it. We must regain our identity with an Afrocentric mentality. So, Garvey gave me all these, So I just write, write. And as I write, I conceptualize the art to go with it. So I have a T-shirt line, which my online store will be up and running in September.
Okay.
So then
we got to bring it back for
the
that.
whole world will be able to see it, I have to take things to the next level. People don't want to buy hand lighter anymore. They want to buy online. So I got to give them what they want. So that's coming. That's the next stage.
It's a convenience,
Yes.
They miss out on the interaction, but
Right.
it's a convenience. And I have one of the sweaters also, so it's a little bit hot now, but as soon as the weather breaks, I will be busting out on it on here also. And did we leave out anything? Because I know we left out a lot, you know what I'm saying? But we touched on...
Okay.
We touched on the most prevalent.
This is one of my designs. So when the reggae boys was red hot, I designed this one.
Okay.
This one is that's one of my masterpieces.
Right.
So,
Right. And that's the flag of Jamaica also.
So,
All right. See?
it's violet.
Surprise. Right. They just think you're the voice and the drummer, you know what I'm saying?
We tried. Garvey said do for self, I watched my mom and dad do for self within cooperative economics, building a business.
Right.
So that helped transplanted me to who I am today.
Yes.
Yes. So I give thanks to my king papa and my goddess queen mother.
I'm out. That's right.
Yes.
And the legacy that you was
yes,
able.
Thank
Yeah, we winding down, you know what I'm saying? Where could they find you?
Look, you can find me on our social media platforms, Dub Poet Infinity.
Infinity.
Right? Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, anyone you can reach me there.
Everything.
Right.
All right. And once again,
Yeah,
what's
man.
up?
It's all one love, lion power.
Fire.
Yeah, man. Fire, 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 fire. Yeah.
Yes.